Do you guys have a couple friend circle?
We have some couple friends. We have lots of couple acquaintances. I like to say with things being so busy, but also because we are homebodies.
Go ahead and say we are lazy.
Oh my gosh, we are homebodies. We do have a few we have at least one couple friend that it's like our kids are also friends. And so we've hung out, and with them it's just like, oh, has it been 6 hours? I can't believe, is it almost midnight already? And so we have a lot of fun with them. We would like to have more time for a couple friends, but we just don't. We're so close with the kids that, you know, if we're not doing stuff with them or their activities, like we're spending family time together, normally in front of television. So it just, we don't make a lot of time. I think we feel like we don't have a lot of time. But I think it's mostly because we don't want to take that time from them.
The kids,
Yeah. Time isn't just made up, you know. They're so close. They don't even want us to go on vacation together, but without them.
That sounds like Christian. Every time we go somewhere, because we happen to take a good bit of trips, and we generally try to take Christian somewhere at least once or twice a year.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. His schedule doesn't afford for as much travel as we would like. But we managed to get it in. And so he's like, I want to go, you know, I'm just like, not this time. So we have to make an effort to make sure that we take him somewhere. But I want to ask about how you manage the parent relationship and the wife relationship. There's varying opinions on who should come first. Like, you know, my mom's stressed, and I strongly believe you put your husband first, you know, because once the kids grow up, that's who's left, right? So you gotta make sure that everything is good right there, right? So how do you make one not feel less important? How do you manage that relationship? How do you feel that you put your husband first and you put your kids first?
I would like to say timing. So they have their zones, right? So we've come to know, Tim is not a morning person, right? So I'll make sure I sleep, and on the weekends it's easier once the kids are older. To me, I feel the same way. Pretty much husband is first. I think when the kids were younger, it was definitely more of a pull, and there was a bit more of a pull of kids first. Obviously, you know, baby's crying, like, I'm sorry, honey, I know you want this, but we gotta go handle this. But as they've grown up, it's given a lot more freedom. So for me, he does come first, but it's still zoning. So that's how they don't feel they know, okay, husband has kind of day and when they're asleep time. Kids, you have this time, and while you're awake, like, we're very focused on them. In the mornings, weekend mornings, like, I'm gonna come downstairs and make sure the kids have either eaten or get them food and make sure they're doing okay while Tim is up still sleeping and enjoying up there. But now I can sleep in longer, and so that's kind of his time in the morning. So just learning and giving them different times where they're the focus of that time, so they each have their important times, where they know that they
That's probably the most thought out question answer I've ever received on this question. Oh, so what about you? Where's the me time? How do you fit in me time? I mean, you own a spa, for Christ's sake. Do you manage to?
I barely get to go, Allison. Although I'm coming out of tax season, so that'll be better. But it's so busy too. Yeah. So I feel bad. I did get a facial this week.
Yes, and your skin's glowing.
Thank you. I got a radio frequency facial so I could thin and keep the wrinkles away. But I felt bad. I was like, I'm taking up a spot where somebody else would book. I've learned over the years, I think, again, when the kids were young and when the marriage was young, me time really did not exist, and there was just a lot of mommy-wife guilt just about taking time. There would be certain things that I would do every now and then, that would be kind of my time, but I would still feel guilty. I have a lot less guilt now. And I've learned that it's okay for me to take some hours for me. I love baths. Baths are a big thing for me, but before I would feel guilty because I won't take like a 30-minute bath. Take like an hour, 2 hour, watch TV. It's a whole, could be a 3-hour bath.
Good Lord.
I should put the essential oil. Okay. But I would feel guilty because I'll take a bath after the kids are asleep, and that's Tim time. Right?
Right.
And so for a long time I wasn't doing it, and I was just like, oh, I really want to take one. And he finally was like, babe, just go do it. I'll be fine. Like, I'll be okay without you. I'll have some me time. And so just realizing, understanding, listening to myself and going, okay, you know what, I am going to take that time. Or after tax season, like, I'll take some time for myself in there and just kind of focus on me a little bit, and everybody's okay. At first I thought the world was going to come down and nothing was going to work and he would feel neglected, but I don't do it super often, but I've found that a few hours every week, you know, can be for me.
I think I would like to dive more into the whole mom guilt and why we feel that, or wife guilt, like we have to put ourselves behind everyone else while we can't figure out a way to prioritize the three.
Yeah.
You know, conversation for another day.
Because there's work in there.
Right.
There's only so much time in the day.
So, little Rachel, what, thinking back over the 17 years that you've been with Tim, what is one piece of advice that you would give yourself, the teenager, before she meets Tim, or even after she meets Tim when she's leaving high school? What is one piece of advice you'd give yourself?
Be patient, but not timid. Okay? And what I mean by that is, don't be afraid to speak up about what you need and what you want and what makes you happy or not happy, or, you know, if somebody's doing something or not doing something, afraid to kind of speak up about that and kind of bury it down. But be patient in that when you do bring it up, you give people time to adjust and kind of process what you've shared. Because sometimes we can say, well, this isn't making me happy, or I don't like when you do this, but then really not allow anybody any time to actually change and then get angry because things didn't change. So being patient, but not timid, because if they don't know, they can't change.
That's awesome advice, though. I think I struggle with the patient part. Definitely not timid. But I struggle with the waiting for people to digest what you've communicated. That's a learning for me, so thank you for sharing that. Now, last question. What do you think has been the key to you and Tim's marital success over the years?
Listening, communicating, and understanding, I think, are the three biggest things. I once heard, it's like, you can communicate all you want, but if nobody's listening, it doesn't make a difference. And I thought about that, and it's like, it's so true. I could talk to you all day long, but if you're not listening, or if I'm not listening, it doesn't make any difference. So listening to your partner, listening to yourself, is really important, and then communicating what you're hearing or not hearing, and then really trying to understand, going back to, we all, you know, there's all the workshops on, okay, compliment sandwich, you know, say this and then say the bad thing and then give them another compliment, you know, but in real life,
It's not real
right, in relationships, and you're angry or things are going on and it's been a long day, you forget the compliment sandwich. And, just trying to understand what's being said in whatever package it comes, and not getting angry always at the package that's being delivered, like how it's being delivered, and taking your projections of your personal feelings out of it sometimes, and really just trying to understand what the other person is trying to communicate. I think a lot of issues come up because we're communicating with each other, but we're not listening properly, and we're not really trying to understand. We're listening to the words that are being sent, but we're not understanding the meaning or really what the person's trying to get out and say. Because sometimes we don't say things in the right manner, or we don't say things in a way that somebody else is going to understand what we're meaning to say. And so really just working on that and trying not to get so upset with the little things. I think that's a big thing that's come over our marriage, is a lot of little things used to get so blown out of proportion. And as you kind of grow and mature together, that realizing, okay, well, what do you really mean? Like,
Yeah.
what is the problem here? And trying to understand and just kind of fix it from that point of view.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me and being so candid about your relationship. I enjoyed this interview very much, so thank you very much.
Thank you, I did too. So thank you for thinking of me and having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for tuning in to this month's episode of Comfy Convo. We'll see you next time. Bye.